As engineers and technical professionals, we need to get out there in our careers and we need to meet people, but we're not always comfortable doing that. In this week's Engineering Management Lessons video, I have with me Gary Hamilton. Gary is a Senior Vice President and USA Healthcare Director at WSP. And Gary, you're going to talk a little bit about something in your career, something that happened to you, something that you thought about or challenged on that really helped to drive your career growth related to building relationships. What was that, Gary?
Yeah, at this point, I would talk about thought leadership. I remember the first time attending a conference, I was completely shocked at the amount of people that was actually at the conference, and was trying to figure out how do I go and talk to these people that I don't know? And that was one of the biggest challenges. So I find myself trying to shy away, standing in the corner and not having these conversations. And I remember there was a guy called Phil Toby that used to be the head of healthcare for Smith Group. And I saw, I always see him navigating through the space and everybody's calling his name and he's meeting and greeting everyone. And I remember having a conversation, with him and wondering how do you do it? And he said, it's a number of years I've been in the industry, and this give me that comfort level. And I'm a social person, which I am a social person as well. But I'm often daunted by that a lot of people and really trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate that space. But having that conversation with Phil helped me, because he said to me, listen, you should see these things as opportunity. And from that point, I remember he said, you have to be intentional when you attend these conferences. Sometimes do you research and know who you want to meet. And that's how you do business development. That's how you meet people who you're interested in. So the next conference, what I did is really go through my get opportunity to go through the list of people who are attending the conference. I would research them in terms of LinkedIn and find out who they are, and also try to research them on a personal basis to find out something beyond work with those folks as well. And have these people in mind. I have the names written down and try to remember some of their faces. But one of the things that helped me to navigate those spaces now in conferences I walk through is that I also put myself out there much more in terms of my thought leadership, writing articles, being out there in LinkedIn and social media, so people could know who I am before I walked into those spaces again. So like for me, a lot of people, I remember a few weeks ago, one of my engineers said, hey, every time I walk through the space, everybody is like, Gary, like everybody knows you walk in, so in doing that, it's really, put me back to really thinking about the point when I walked in, when I didn't know anybody, and I didn't have that, I didn't have I didn't have thought leadership beside me. I had, maybe a little shy as an engineer, but it really pushed me, because understanding and seeing how, having that mentorship and having a visual of somebody who have done it. And it gave me that that direction in terms of where I want to be, and to see now attending conference and how people react, and how the amount of people who know me, sometimes I don't even know them, but it's really one of those things that really turned my career and really helped me to really get out, because understanding that that if I'm going to be a leader, you have to be out there in terms of business development without knowing people, and not only clients. It's really knowing the people in the industry, because those people become your network, and your network is your network is your net worth in the industry. So it really activates how you win work, activates how do you do team and relationships, for projects, and activate how you deliver projects as well, because people can connect with you and believe in you as a person, as a team member, and as a leader. It really helps you to to really do wonders in the industry. So that's something that I really look back on and say, hey, I'm glad Phil Toby was able to show me the direction. And I was able to actively, take some of the the guidance and really run with it and really turn this into something that I'm enjoying. I enjoy being out there, enjoy speaking at conference, enjoy writing articles, interacting with folks, and really just just being a social being in the industry, and really really trying to, and that's a part of my leadership. It's really an important part of how I lead, is really people. It's really relating to people. It's really activating that space of thought leadership and social interaction.
That's great. I mean, I love a couple of things real quick that I love about that. Number one is that, Phil kind of helped you make a little bit of a mindset shift, whereas you were going to these things and you were a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit nervous, and he kind of helped you look at them more as like opportunities for yourself, which probably really, got you going on it, which is awesome. And I think what you said about doing your research before you go to an event is so important, because I see so many people these days run into events, run into conferences, but they're not taking the time to think about who they want to meet there. And they're missing like a whole side of these events that, like you said, your network is your net worth. So, you've got to take advantage of these situations to see and interact with people, especially after the last few years where we haven't been able to talk to anybody really, at least in person, and, shake hands and stuff. So that was important. And the one last thing that I want to just reinforce that you said is, we get advice from people often, but you have to take that advice and you have to use it, and you have to put it into action. And so many times, like, I'll be doing a talk and I try to stress to the engineers out there, is like, I can give you all these different strategies, but if you walk out of the room and don't use them, they're just useless. Like, there's no point in even coming to the table, right? So some great stuff there. Again, Gary Hamilton, WSP. Gary, thank you so much for sharing that lesson with us.
Thank you, Anthony. It's a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed that awesome lesson and story from Gary Hamilton. I mean, really, what he said is true, right? Your network is your net worth, and you've got to shift your mindset and look for opportunities to get out there and grow that network. We put out videos like this weekly here at EMI to help engineers become better managers and leaders. So please subscribe to our channel here so that we can help you engineer your own success. I'll see you next week.